I don't often cover the ongoing situation in Russia regarding conflict and the subsequent impact on airlines, aircraft, and much more in the aviation world. However, with this member-requested video, I thought I'd jump into the area once again, following industry sources close to Reuters, providing some relatively mammoth revelations involving aircraft that are currently located in Russia. Now, long story short, there is a lot of aircraft currently in that country. Naturally, before the emergence of the conflict in Ukraine, the Russian airspace was crucial and many airlines flew in and out of it and also just used the airspace for their flights to Asia and more. But that has since ceased, and subsequently we've seen a host of aircraft stuck in the country with customers refusing to give up their said planes. So it's therefore been an interesting process, and with many aircraft acquired through a lease, most companies have given up after multiple attempts that were failed attempts to get their planes back. However, as Russian carriers cannot source replacement parts due to the sanctions for these aircraft that they kept, they're turning to the existing planes for spare parts, essentially doing anything that is humanly possible to extend the life of said aircraft within said airline's operations, and it's certainly a odd way about it, if you will. It's dangerous also, without a shadow of a doubt. Questions have already arisen over the basic safety of the aircraft and whether they really should be in the air to begin with. However, without making too many assumptions, I think it's fair to say at this point that it really can't be too safe to keep these planes in the sky, and the reality is that the longer this goes on, the harder it will get for said customers to maintain their fleet of aircraft. Of course, a list of aircraft that features many different Airbus and Boeing planes. Upkeeping the maintenance is essential to maintaining safety, and with that not being made possible, as well as the sourcing of the spare parts organically, if you will, means it's only a ticking time bomb until they become unflyable, and with them now heading to existing planes, scrapping them for certain components, risks are of course associated with that. Naturally trying to keep everything intact when moving it across, and just a whole lot more. While it isn't uncommon for us to see aircraft being stripped for parts, it's usually done in a more controlled manner and nature, where this can be more on the side of, say, desperation, I'd say, to keep the aircraft flying. They want to keep their fleet of aircraft operational for many, many more years, citing 2025 towards the back end of it as a potential year and goal. With other countries no longer being of option for airlines like Aeroflot, they've certainly had to readjust their operations to a more domestic-orientated service. Ultimately, the closure of Russian airspace and sanctions have also impacted many other carriers and companies. However, news of stripping aircraft for parts from Reuters has undoubtedly made headlines, and I think generally for all of us has highlighted the lengths to retain their fleet of aircraft that Russia are going to. Thank you for the video request, and a massive thank you to Jaden, Daniel, Jam, Stefan, Al-Walid, Eric the FlashCubing, Will, Don, and Austin9 for being cabin crew members, and a big thanks to Elliot, who supports over on Patreon and is also a channel member. Now, if you have any thoughts solely on Russia looking to strip aircraft for parts away from the conflict side of things, please just drop it down in the comments below, as I'd be very keen to hear your take on the safety and the pros and cons of doing such a thing.